Now let's start things off from Ogun State, where the hearing of a case involving Adeniyi Mobolaji Kayode, the driver of heavyweight boxer Anthony Joshua, came up on Monday before Justice Olufunmilayo Simofun. The driver is standing trial on charges that include manslaughter. Now, at the resumed proceedings, prosecuting counsel Richard Nijiwe told the court that the prosecution had witnesses from the Federal Road Safety Corps, the vehicle inspection officer, the police, and a medical doctor, though the medical doctor was absent. The prosecution's request to duplicate the case file and forward it to the Department of Public Prosecution through the Office of the Attorney General for legal advice was opposed by Defense Counsel Olalekan. Justice Semofo adjourned the matter to February 25 for hearing. The defendant remains on bail.
For today, and their witnesses are in court, nothing stops the court from going on. However, in the interest of justice, based on the application of the prosecution, the matter was adjourned. So we have nothing to say about that than to wait for the adjournment dates to see what the prosecution have for us or have for the court.
But you reacted. Why?
It's normal for me to react because adjournment cannot be made on a platter of gold. And it cannot be made by the way. You must have a reasonable ground for seeking for that adjournment.
What's that? So what we have now, is there reasonable ground now?
Yes, in the interest of justice. Is the reasonable ground.
What's that ground?
In the interest of justice is the ground.
Let's talk about the bail, sir.
Yes.
What's the update on the bail condition?
The bail still remain. The bail still remain. Nothing affected the bail.
So it won't be remanded again now?
I won't say anything about it. That is for the court.
Has he made the bail condition?
Definitely. He has met the bail condition, in as much the court had stated the bail condition, and we have met it.
Well, that's the update on the trial hearing for Anthony Joshua's driver in the tragic case that happened a few weeks ago. We have our correspondent Adeniyi on standby, on standby, who will be giving us more updates subsequently, and we'll be finding out what the details are. Let's quickly find out if Ni is ready. Ni, Omoni, can you hear us? Ni, please confirm you can hear us.
I can't hear them.
All right, we'll definitely be bringing in Ni subsequently to give us more updates on the court proceedings and what we're to expect come February 25. Now to security matters. Operatives of the Department of State Services, DSS, have arrested former Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, Abubakar Malami. The arrest took place in front of Kuje Correctional Center shortly after Malami was released. Video footage circulating on social media shows the former AGF walking toward a DSS vehicle, requesting the operatives to show official identification before entering. A security source confirmed to journalists that several petitions have been filed against Malami, including allegations of terrorism financing. The source emphasized that no responsible government could ignore such serious claims, regardless of the individual's position. Let's go back now to Ogun State, where our correspondent Ni Omoni is on standby to give us an update on the trial and the hearing proceedings of Anthony Joshua's driver. Ni Omoni, please confirm you can hear us. Ni Omoni, can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, so can you just give us your observations during and after the court proceedings?
Well, I can barely hear what the studio is relaying to me, but I want to believe we're asking for observations in court, and I'll quickly speak to that so that we can save minutes. I was just looking around and trying to observe his facial expression, that is that of the defendant in person of the 46-year-old Adeniyi Mobolaji Kayode while we were in court. I'm just trying to imagine what was going through his mind during the proceedings, because a case was up before his own case was actually called up, and he just had his face bowed to the ground, covered with his hoodie. He had to remove that once he got into court, and I was just puzzled, just trying to imagine the things that was going through his mind, while every other person involved in these particular accident, the ones who are alive, reeling around, probably been discharged from hospital. He is here facing the repercussion of an action. Of course, he has not been convicted for. The court's charges, we are not privy to it, but one stands out amongst them is manslaughter, which the prosecuting counsel has said carries a life sentence, and that is why during the proceeding, the prosecuting counsel noted that they would like to duplicate the case, pass it to the Office of Public Prosecution through the Attorney General of the State Office so that they can get legal advice. We know in cases like this, when things happen, it's mostly because the prosecution is trying to seek a lesser punishment or some sort of, I don't want to run in contempt of court, and I don't want to preempt the court, so I won't be able to say for what reason specifically, but that didn't sit well with the counsel to the defendant. He noted that today was supposed to be for definite hearing, and of course at the Shagamu High Court here, that was what was supposed to happen today. The prosecutor had about 4 witnesses. 3 were present, one from the Federal Road Safety, one from VIO, a police officer, I believe, and of course a medical doctor who he mentioned was absent. So those were the scenarios that played out today. The prosecutor sought an adjourned date, of course, for these duplication of case to be passed across to the Department of Public Service, Public Prosecution Office, and he had no choice because it's rests on the discretion of the court. The justice who presided over the case was Justice Olufunmilayo Shemofon, and she decided in upon hearing the both parties Jesu for points that the case should be adjourned, and of course the prosecuting counsel should take up should duplicate the files and send it for legal advice. So those were the scenarios that happened in court. And moving out of court, immediately after the court, the counsel to the defendants came and granted some interviews and noted that they were not comfortable with it, but of course they can't do anything about it because of the court. The defendant himself could not speak. His counsel spoke on his behalf. He noted that he's not in the right frame of mind right now. That is his counsel saying that, noting that maybe when we hear the next court adjournment, when we are here for the next court adjournment, he will be in a better frame of mind to speak, which will be February the 25th. But for now, the case has been adjourned. The defendant has met his bail condition, of course, and he comes from home, and he will also come from home for the next court hearing. The defendant counsel, however, noted that if by next week nothing concrete has still been said as regards the legal advice the prosecuting counsel is trying to get from Department of the Public Prosecution Office, they will move to strike out the case. This has raised a lot of controversies, a lot of questions, and everybody's just hoping to see what pans out on the 25th of February and what will become the fate of Anthony Joshua's 46-year-old driver.
All right, Omoni read there, giving us an update on the court hearing, and definitely come February 25, we will get more updates on what his fate would look like. Now, traders and residents of the boundary market area in Ajegunle, Lagos, are raising concerns over the deteriorating state of their environment. They blame poor waste management for the growing number of illegal refuse dumps, with heaps of garbage now spilling onto major roads and posing serious health risks. Right now, News Central's Victor Mbadike is currently at one of the affected dump sites and bringing us the reports. Victor, last week and 2 weeks ago, we were talking about this same issue in Abuja, different areas with Sumeya and Aisha. And now we have this same problem in some parts of Lagos. What is the situation right there? I can see you with your face mask. It means that it must be a terrible, terrible situation.
Blessings, this face mask is not even enough to contain the foul smell from this place. I mean, no human beings should really be living in areas like this, let alone do business. But it is what it is. We have people who live on Mobile Road, Boundary Market in Ajegunle, which is where we currently are. We have people who also, live and do business here as well. But if you look at this, drainage channel, it's a canal, and we residents complain that market women and men have turned this place into their dumping site, which is illegal as a matter of fact. Questions have been raised as to if you want us to dump our waste, somewhere legal, where should we do it? Because it just seems that the lawmakers is not apparently doing their job as a matter of fact. And that has caused a lot of persons, who just comes out here and then dump their waste here indiscriminately. We did ask, a couple of officials who we met, online, and they told us quite clearly that they are trying their best to ensure that people do not just dump waste anyhow they like in Lagos. But they said that most of the time when this happens, it's usually in the middle of the night when nobody is watching, when nobody knows. As a matter of fact, we did see some persons, just dump their stuff. I mean, they just do it seamlessly, like they don't even care. This is not supposed to be, and a lot of persons are really complaining. I do have a few persons who, of course, will be sharing their experiences. It's really a sad one, blessing. I do not wish this on any human, basically. The foul smell here is so troublesome. If you notice, there's a barricade here already. Actually, there was actually a barricade, but if you notice, that barricade has been tampered with. And so what we have here is just, so you can see, no barricades any longer here. So this place has been turned into, criminal hideouts, if you like. Indiscriminate dumping of waste, feces, people just come here and just do whatever they want to do. Good morning, madam. I understand that you have a business here. I don't know how much of this makes you comfortable, but you want to share with us.
Comfortable at all. They are bringing the refuse from Boundary Market to this place, and we have a lot of cane, flogging them here every time. It's early in the morning, they normally put it here, very early in the morning before we come around. Sometimes they bring it where we are around, so we normally flog them very well. And there is a barricade here before. They've removed it from there. In the night, they will steal it. So by putting barricade again, or maybe you can fence it, barricade, they will remove it in the night again. That's how they normally do.
As a market woman or as a trader here, how does this personally affect you in terms of doing business here?
Everywhere is stinking, everywhere is stinking, very stinking, and it's not even good. By entering Ajegule, everywhere is too dirty, very dirty. Very. And it's not even good for human's heads. It's very dirty, very.
So what do you expect government to do henceforth?
I want government to look into it and look for a solution how to do everything here. And look for security. If they want to do anything here, they have to put security here so that everywhere will be very okay. We have been doing so many works here. We have mechanics here. They have been flogging them. By 5 in the morning, they will come and put dirty here. But we normally flog them when we are around. If you are not around, they normally put it again.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much, ma'am. So blessings. As a matter of fact, you did hear a part where she said they even have dedicated canes where they're using flogging these guys. But the reality, basically, blessing, is that for most parts of Lagos that I have visited in recent days, at major bus stops, even at BRT terminals, you will see piles of waste on these roads, and you begin to ask yourself questions. Are there no authorities to checkmate the activities of these guys? But that's the sad reality we find ourselves. I know there's some other persons who would like to talk to us very quickly, and they really want to share their own displeasure. Good morning, sir. Ìdọ̀tí tó ń dà sí ìrọ̀ yìí, báwo lẹ ṣe rí sí?
Dọ̀tí yẹn ń di sọ́ọ̀pù gidi gan torí a ti lé àwọn pípọ̀ yẹn bí gbígbé wọn ò dáhùn ṣé ti yé wọn ò dáhùn a ti nà wọ́n ní ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ gan tó yẹ pé wọn ò dáhùn láwọn ti sọ pé wọ́n dá pé láti inú ọjà yẹn ti gbé àwọn dọ̀tí yẹn wá.
Àwọn sọ pé kò síbi tó máa dalẹ̀ sí.
wọ́n ti sọ fún wa náà ni pé kìnìkan wọ́n pé bóyá wọ́n pààrọ̀ ní wọ́n dàrẹ́ tàn pé kí wọ́n máa wá síbí báyìí tí wọ́n sọ nìyẹn.
Kí lẹ fẹ́ kí ìjọba ṣe báyìí?
Kí wọ́n bá lè wá fa solúsàn sí sáà ni kí wọ́n ti bá blọọkù bẹ́ẹ̀ kí wọ́n ti máa rí ilẹ̀ dà síbẹ̀ torí ilẹ̀ yẹn àfẹ́ ti wà gan gbogbo bí báyìí òórùn yẹn ti pọ̀ jù kí wọ́n bá lè blọọkù gbogbo báyìí kò ní jẹ́ pé wọ́n lè rẹ́ máa rí ilẹ̀ yẹn gbà sí bí báyìí mọ́.
Well, to translate that loosely, he's saying that they've also tried their best to see how they can, talk to the people who drop waste indiscriminately here at Boundary Markets or Ajegule, Bobby Road, as a matter of fact, but they will never listen. As a matter of fact, he's also said he's also dedicated canes and, wires that they use in flogging these guys, to see if they could, backtrack. And he said again that they've also tried to speak to authorities, but nothing yet has been coming forth. Let's work for that to see if we can talk to a few more persons, who have also registered their anger and their pains. Mommy, good afternoon, ma. This dirty way for this place. I know say you they work here. How this dirty they affect you, and what do you want me government to do?
The dirty they affect us very well. We not fit breathe well. They give us sickness. Make government stop them. Make people they not come here because they throw dirty. Especially that man when they do container for there. When they do cogis, not be small. So I want to make government stop all that one there. Make them help us. We not do okay for this place. You understand me? They give us sickness every time. How we care ourselves? Make government make sure say they commode them for there and make the government do something about it.
So, Blessings, I know we do not have time, but we also need to understand that the people are not happy. They want to live a good life that just like some of us do. I mean, living in areas like this is really, really a sad reality. But I do wish that the agency, if they are watching us right now, will take their initiatives and see how best they can, sort this situation. Of course, we have spoken to them, and we hope that they respond to us in no time, Blessing. And that's it from Mobi Road right here from Ajegule in Lagos.
All right, News Central's Victor Mbadike there with updates live from Ajegule on the environmental health hazard, and people have also spoken about it. We're hoping that there is a solution in sight, and very quickly at that. You're live with us on the 12 Report. We go on a short break. When we come back, we've got more stories. Stay with us. All right, many thanks for staying with us. Now let's go straight to security matters. The Kaduna State Police Command and local authorities have dismissed reports claiming that over 100 worshippers were abducted in Kajuru local government area of the state. The police described the reports as falsehoods allegedly spreading by what they termed conflict entrepreneurs bent on disrupting the state's relative peace. Earlier reports had claimed that armed gangs abducted dozens of worshippers during Sunday services at two churches in Kurumin-Wali, a forest community in Afrogo ward, with a church leader alleging that more than 160 people were taken. Speaking after a State Security Council meeting in Kaduna, Police Commissioner Muhammad Rabiu challenged those spreading the claims to provide names and details of the alleged victims. He warned that anyone found spreading false information would face the full weight of the law.
We are informed that there is bandit attack in Kurumin-Wali, in Kajuru local government. We quickly mobilize our policemen, military and other security agencies to the area. But to our dismay till now that we are speaking, nobody is able to come out with any figure or name of any person that is kidnapped from that community. Our policemen, the chairman of the local government and other agencies were at the scene of crime, alleged scene of crime. We went there. Till now, there is no information about any attack or any kidnapping of over 300 persons. And on this, I want to warn some of these troubleshooters. Please stop giving out false information to those discredit the state and the security agencies. We are always ready to deal with any situations. And if they didn't stop this kind of menaces, we are going to arrest anybody that is found wanting.
Meanwhile, the district head of the Kasin Kurumin-Wali, Ishaku Dan Azumi, has countered the police claim, insisting that the attack on the community did take place. Dan Azumi, who said he's one of the victims that escaped the attack, spoke in an exclusive interview with News Central, describing a terrifying ordeal. He painted a grim picture of the incident, maintaining that armed attackers invaded the area and targeted worshippers during Sunday services.
Akwai sarrafin 1 and 2 da headquarters din. At least 170 din, 177 din ne. Sai dai mu da mun zama wanda mun aiko yanzu wanda sun escape din da 11 people. Shi yasa kajin sun zama 100. Ni dai da mun tafi dan ce dai masu wasu sun zo. Amma sun zo sa a garin mu sai sun koma. Yau kuma sun sake sun garin mu sun sake koma. To yanzu mai jawabi dai da cewa ya hakuri ne abin da ya faru. Na gwamna bai zo wasu da ce shi ya koma yau dai shi ne gwamna fensa abin da chairman ne ya gaya mana ke. gaskiya ga munan nima yanda ma ce chairman ne zai zo da sojojin na ba da yana nan a gida. To mu dai inda kira gare ku shine bin Allah ya asa ko wannan kujerun ma Allah ya sa kana wurin ba mu da abin da zamu fada ba mu da abin da zamu ce shi dai muna roƙa alfarma mu neman tallafi ya ba mu samu noma da damunan nan ba ganakin da ya kamata mu yi noman ba mu zuwa bayan dakuna ne kawai muna dan lallawa domin ma ba mu da abin da za a masar ma a ce za a yi wannan abun ina gaya maka ba su da ana bin ma nan gari wanda an kwashe mutanen lafiya da na DJ saboda sun shiga ma ran 11 din nan dauka mutanen da jiri ya ranar kuma bin nan in suka ne ka gona da nisa kai zai tafi da kai to kasan DJ suna daji ya za mu yi ba sai mu koma bayan dakuna ba to bayan dakuna ne ma muna da lallaba to shine gashi nan yanzu ba abincin da za mu cin ma balantane za mu sayar sai ni roƙona shine duk inda kun sani akwai gudunmuwa.
Stakeholders from government, business, the media and civil society have converged on Abuja for the inaugural Nigeria Reputation Summit, a high-level forum aimed at reshaping the country's global image and strengthening its national brand. The summit seeks to counter negative narratives while projecting a more balanced and accurate story of Nigeria's economic potential, cultural richness and innovative spirit. News Central's Aisha Saliu is live at the event and brings us the details. Aisha, you are live at the Nigeria Reputation Summit 2026. What is this summit all about and what does it aim to achieve?
Well, Blessings, I would tell you one thing, that inside this auditorium, there are many patriotic Nigerians, and conversations have been ongoing from morning up until now about how especially the media owes it as a point of duty to desist from, misleading headlines that tend to put Nigeria in disrepute, which is not even reflecting the reality on ground. And stakeholders in there, I'm talking about persons of, former ministers, even the present Minister of Information, former Governor of Lagos State, Babajide Fashola, amongst other dignitaries in there, have been speaking about how it is a point of duty for a lot of Nigerians to speak about the reputation of Nigeria in the right light, especially as Nigerians are doing very well in the creative economy. I'm talking about entertainment industry, our music, our movies, our culture, our food, amongst other industries, technology, arts and culture, and others, where Nigerians are thriving, Nigerians are making giant strides. And it's also about the issue of policy leadership, how we should now move from just talking about it and also implementing this policy so that Nigeria can be put in the right light. But then I have persons here who would want to speak further on how they think Nigeria's reputation can be put in the right direction. Good afternoon, sir.
Hello, good afternoon. How are you?
I'm fine. Can I have your full name, sir?
My name is Dr. Franklin Ginger Eke.
Thank you so much, Dr. Franklin. So we have been speaking about Nigeria's reputation and how we can manage it better so that Nigeria can compete with other countries in global perspective. I'd like to hear from you. From what you have heard inside, how do you think Nigeria can best move forward reputation-wise?
Okay, it's been an ongoing discussion, all right? Nigeria already has reputation, and this reputation so far is being driven by, call it, non-institutional players. Our youths, our culture, our food, okay, with creativity, a whole lot of other things outside the governance structure has been putting our reputation out there. So on that basis, you can't say Nigeria doesn't have a good reputation. People see us, even our welcoming spirit, our can-do spirit is recognized across the world. Where you have the low mark is when it comes to leadership, national leadership. When it comes to governance, okay? When it comes to the institutions that should drive this reputation in a well-calibrated manner. But the discussion we're having today, that's the essence of this summit, is how everybody can come together, because reputation is not built only by political leaders. Reputation is also built by citizens. Reputation is built by every member of the society.
Thank you so much, sir. Well, Blessings, you have heard from the gentleman here, and he has spoken much about how it is necessary for every Nigerian to continue to have the patriotic spirit to build the Nigerian reputation.
All right, thank you, Aisha Saliu, for the update on that. And definitely the summit is still on, so we look forward to seeing what the conclusions and the highlights of the conversations are. You're still live with us on the 12 Report. We go on a short break. When we come back, we've got more stories. Just stay with us. Anyway, thanks for staying with us. Now to more stories. With continuation of our coverage of development within the area councils in the Federal Capital Territory ahead of the February polls, residents of the satellite communities are expressing concerns over the continuous failures of political parties and their candidates to keep to their campaign promises. Now, a visit by News Central's crew to Kaidat Soho community in the Gwagwalada Area Council, residents lament the lack of social amenities such as potable water, schools and hospitals, including security as well as empowerment for youth in the community. Now, our correspondent Chisom Okoye joins now to feel the pulse of residents ahead of the February polls. Chisom, it's quite interesting that the elections are coming and now people are speaking up more, being more vocal about what exactly is not working. They don't have access to water, they don't have access to light, and even the basic amenities, even education as well. What is the contrast? How do we then reconcile this? Has there been any response so far?
Well, hello, Blessing. Like you rightly mentioned, we've been visiting many communities and area councils in the FCT. Currently, we are at the Buhari Area Council, and we want to feel the pulse of what is happening, what people have to say. Just like you mentioned, basic amenities are lacking in these places, which has been very shocking so far. And we have been here for a couple of hours already, and one of the things that the residents have been saying is no water. As you know, the FCT Water Board has been on strike for a couple of days now, but even more shocking revelations by the residents that the lack of water did not just start a few days ago. Now I'm going to speak with a resident of the community, Mr. Sylvester Ehage, that will be joining me right now. Do come over, Mr. Sylvester. Good afternoon. Thank you for speaking with us. You're a resident of the Buhari Area Council.
Yeah.
Can you tell us how long you've been living in this area?
I've been here since around 2014, yeah.
That's 2014. So can you let us know the challenges, water challenges? How do you get water? Are you connected to the water board? And if you are, is that, how do you get your water? Is it consistent? Is it reliable?
No, our water here is having some challenges, mostly, especially this water board. I believe in my house to pay for water some years back. That's why you pay for the water. They will still not give you the water.
You're trying to tell us you pay for the water bills and you do not get water. How long has this been going on?
For a long time, chap. For a long time. Because we pay. So there are some people who pay for water for the water board.
Now, the water board has been on strike for 4 days right now. Are you trying to say that it's been longer than 4 days since you've had water?
Yeah, we have not been using it for long. We buy this Mirua, those people that use a truck to sell water. That's what we have been using. We pay for those one. You buy 100 naira, 1,000 naira, depending the distance of the place.
And this is because of the
slow flow of water board
from the water board to your area in this Buhari Area Council.
Area Council.
All right. Can you tell us any other challenges you're facing in the area council?
Lights challenges. No lights most business a lot. We have challenges of lights. There's no consistency of lights. They can say 2-3 days, no lights, 4 days. Some parts we have, some parts we don't. Especially this environment, these premises, they don't have lights much. Like today now, we have been saying for like 2 days and no lights. They said the transformer has issue, some others, so many challenges, so many excuses. No lights, but at the end of the month, you pay for meter, you pay for NEPA bill, and you not have the lights and other things. It affects our businesses. It's not making our business to flow. It's costing us a lot. We are not moving forward.
Well, is there anything that you could tell us that is working at all? You've mentioned water, the light.
Apart from the good roads and healthcare center and all of that, the general hospital, they are not working. Nothing is working apart from, like, they said the doctors are on strike, right? I believe they are going on strike. So there are some things that's not really working within.
right, thank you so much, Mr. Sylvester. Blessings, like you already heard, we are currently in front of the Buhari General Hospital, and outside the hospital, it is very beautiful. It seems the buildings are in great shape, but apparently nothing is working there. Doctors are already on strike, like you already heard, and there are parts of the Buhari Area Council that are with light, and there are parts that are not with light. But one thing has been consistent in all of the people that we have interviewed so far: there is lack of water. And this has gone ahead not just for days as they have been on strike, but actually for years in some cases. And as you can hear, they have to pay the manual workers, the Merowa, to actually get water for them. Back to you, Blessing.
All right, there you have it on the update on the FCT Area Council elections. Looking at the reality of things and the forthcoming elections, people are now being upfront about what the situation is, and good luck with those candidates convincing them that they're going to do better, because this has been on for a long time. But thank you so much to our correspondent for following this story. Now to Lagos State, where Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu has alleged that some local and international non-governmental organizations are exploiting the demolition of illegal structures in Makoko for financial gain. The governor said the state government is monitoring the activities of such organizations, noting that many claims circulating are misleading and aimed at attracting grants rather than addressing residents' welfare. Now, Sanwo-Olu explained that the demolition was undertaken strictly on safety grounds following the construction of homes and shanties beneath high-tension power lines, posing serious risks to lives and property. He maintained that the government could not ignore potential disasters in the name of sentiment, stressing that enforcing planning and safety regulations are necessary to prevent avoidable tragedies. In the meantime, Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu has signed the 4.4 trillion naira 2026 Appropriation Bill into law at the Lagos House, Alausa, Ikeja. The budget, tagged the Budget of Shared Prosperity, was earlier passed by the Lagos State House of Assembly, approving total expenditure of 4,444,509,776,438 naira for the 2026 fiscal year. The signing ceremony was attended by the Deputy Governor Obafemi Hamzat, members of the State Executive Council, lawmakers, the head of service, and other top government officials. The 2026 budget is structured to drive inclusive growth, reduce poverty, and improve living standards across the state. And to health matters now, a health advocacy group under the Child Health and Mortality Prevention Surveillance has launched a comprehensive demographic data surveillance round in Bauchi State. The initiative is designed to uncover the lingering causes of high child morbidity and mortality rates, specifically within the Bauchi and Ganjua local government areas. During the event, stakeholders explained that the exercise relies heavily on community engagement to identify households and individuals at risk. The program aims to generate accurate data that will complement government efforts in addressing the health challenges facing children under the age of 5 in that region.
There is no problem if there is a mortality, not only for children, even if they are adolescents. It is obvious that it has to check, even if it is to lose the remaining of the disease. It is free. There is need to investigate so that it will be curable to the others. So in the Islamic point of view, there is no problem. This is what I delivered in this lecture. As regards to this program, Bauchi local government is very happy because this one is the program where the one supposed to organize it in order to protect our child and their mothers. So since CHAMS has taken over, we are very happy. We appreciate the effort they have been making for us, more especially those areas that they cover.
Dan Allah, to gaskiya abun yayi taro yayi kyawu kuma ya armushi sosai. Sai dai kawai mu fatan Allah ya ba mu iko mu sauke wannan nauyi da Allah ya dora mana mu a matsayin shugabanni, fadakar da iyaye da kuma mataye a gidaje wurin ganin an samu kula abin da shafi kiwon lafiyan iyaye da yara wanda da haifa Allah ya yarda. Alhamdulillah, ni ma na gode. Masha Allah.
Well, let's talk business now. Oil prices edged higher on Tuesday, supported by a softer US dollar and rising geopolitical tensions linked to President Donald Trump's threats of higher tariffs on European nations over his desire to buy Greenland. Brent crude futures climbed about 0.2% to around $64.09 a barrel, while US West Texas Intermediate crude also gained roughly 0.2%. A weaker dollar makes dollar-priced oil cheaper for foreign buyers, adding support to the market. A stronger than expected economic data from China also helped boost demand sentiment. Investors are watching ongoing trade and geopolitical developments for further direction. Now, German firms sharply reduced investment in the U.S. in the first year of President Trump's second term, citing rising trade uncertainty and tariff threats. From February to November 2025, German companies invested 10.2 billion euros in the U.S., down from 19 billion euros in the same period a year earlier. Exports also dropped 8.6% from February to October 2025, the steepest decline since 2010, excluding the COVID period. Now, analysts warn that continued tensions could weaken transatlantic business confidence and slow long-term investment plans. Still ahead, Trump triggers fresh controversy after sharing private messages from world leaders about Greenland. The details after this break. Do stay with us. Many thanks for staying with us. Now, the World Economic Forum annual meeting kicked off in the Swiss resort city of Davos with global figures from politics, business, academia, and civil society attending the 5-day event. The annual forum that attempts to shape global agendas comes at a time of massive global upheaval. Organizers say a record of nearly 400 top political leaders, including more than 60 heads of state and government, and about 850 chairpersons and chief executives of many of the world's leading companies, are attending. Meanwhile, US President Donald Trump has suggested that UK's decision to cede the Chagos Island to Mauritius is among the reasons he wants to take over Greenland. Trump, who is traveling to Davos in Switzerland for the World Economic Forum, made the claim as he ramped up his rhetoric on acquiring the Arctic territory. In a post on his Truth Social platform, Trump criticized the deal to return the Indian Ocean archipelago while leasing back the strategic Diego Garcia military base. He linked the decision to broader security concerns, citing it as further justification for acquiring Greenland. The remarks mark a sharp shift from Trump's earlier support for the agreement. Britain retained control of the Chagos Islands after Mauritius gained independence, but later faced international pressure and legal challenges. And now for more of this, I'm joined by our senior international correspondent and anchor, Afia Hagen. Now, Afia, what does Trump's recent linkage of his Greenland push to his Nobel Peace Prize snob tell us about his motivations and rhetoric? What does that say about that?
Well, what we are seeing here is President Trump using his personal vendetta, his personal grievance at being snubbed for that Nobel Peace Prize as his deciding factor when it comes to geopolitical issues. He's stating that as a reason why he now wants to take over Greenland. In a letter he said that he no longer feels an obligation to think purely of peace, and that's why he now wants to take Greenland. He sees it as part of protecting U.S. interests. In that letter, he also said he stopped 8+ wars but wasn't given the Peace Prize, so therefore he no longer has to think about peace. Now, this linkage of a major geopolitical dispute, to a symbolic award suggests that this is all about personal validation for him, a personal vendetta that is shaping this narrative and also completely shaping geopolitics. Like I said, this is a major decision to decide to take over another state. He's been saying, this rhetoric that Denmark doesn't really own the green mark and he's going to buy it or take it by military means. And using the snub of the Nobel Peace Prize to do it shows us that this is a president who is intent on using his personal vendetta to get whatever he wants.
So, the British Prime Minister, Keir Starmer, publicly condemned Trump's tactics. What does this signal about the UK-US relations and the broader NATO unity?
Well, clearly, US and UK relations are strained at the moment. The Prime Minister, Sir Keir Starmer, spoke to Donald Trump on Sunday. He had that quite unusual press conference yesterday. He actually cancelled engagements to give that speech and have that press conference yesterday. And there he spoke of the idea of Trump taking over Greenland, saying that it was ridiculous. He also said that he didn't think that Trump would actually do it. He reiterated that the UK would be firmly on the side of Greenland, along with their European allies. He said it was wrong for Donald Trump to threaten to impose tariffs on the UK and other allies because of that Greenland dispute, unless Greenland agrees to sell, unless Denmark agrees to sell Greenland to the United States. He said that that was completely wrong. So definitely at the moment, there is a strain on that so-called special relationship between the United Kingdom and the United States. I mean, I'm old enough to remember a state visit not that long ago, an unprecedented second state visit from President Donald Trump to the UK. You know, we rolled out the red carpet, we trotted out the royal family, all these things that he loves. But it seems that that wasn't enough for the United States to want to maintain that special relationship. A lot was made over the trade deals that were done over those past 2 days, over those 2 days of that state visit. Now for Donald Trump to be saying he's going to impose tariffs on the United Kingdom and other allies, so it shows in fact that perhaps our special relationship isn't as special as we thought.
All right, thank you so much to News Central's international correspondent and anchor, Afia Hagen, for giving us the update on this. And as usual, we'll see how this situation unfolds. Let's talk about something that almost always goes under the radar. In Zamfara, the fight against polio is not happening in air-conditioned offices or on conference stages. It's happening on dusty streets, inside crowded homes, and sometimes in places where insecurity is a daily reality. Now, the real heroes here and local health workers are volunteers, many of them parents themselves, who go door to door to make sure children do not miss life-saving vaccines. Now, talking about polio vaccines, health workers, these are people who know the communities personally. They know which houses have newborns, which parents are afraid, and which areas are hardest to reach. Some walk long distances under the sun, others move carefully through communities affected by violence and mistrust. Still, they show up every single time. Now, for many families, these volunteers are the only connection to basic health care. They answer questions, they calm fears, and explain why vaccination matters in simple language people can trust. In areas where rumors and misinformation once slowed progress, familiar faces have made the difference. And trust has become the real vaccine. It's not easy work. Now, some volunteers face rejection, some face threats, some risk their lives. They go on even after losing colleagues to insecurity. They keep moving because they understand what is at stake. Polio does not just affect one child, it affects families for life. And thanks to these efforts, Nigeria is closer than ever to keeping polio gone for good. It's unfortunate that we don't get to talk about it all the time. And while national statistics matter, this progress rests on everyday courage, the kind that does not trend online, the kind that rarely makes headlines. So when we talk about public health wins, Zamfara's polio fighters deserve their flowers. They're proof that change often starts quietly, with ordinary people doing extraordinary work, one household at a time. And that is your postscript. Now, before we go, let's take a look at what's happening in the sporting world. The victorious Lions of Teranga are back home. Senegal's AFCON 2025 champions have arrived in Dakar after their title triumph in Morocco. And Onyechi Obaro is here and has more. Onyechi, are you ready for us?
Yes, I am. Two-time African champions. They landed over there at the flat line. And we had the president of the country, Bassirou Diomaye Faye. He welcomed them in person. Of course, he had declared a public holiday on Monday. But we'll bring you more on that on In the Game at 1 p.m.
Stick around for In the Game, and that's all on the 12 Report today. Remember, you may send your eyewitness report to the WhatsApp number on the screen because we want to see what you see. Also, do well to follow us on social media. We are at News Central TV. You can watch News Central live on DSTV channel 422, GoTV channel 23, Star Times 274, Avo TV, and of course live on YouTube. Many thanks for watching. I'm Blessings Masudu.